Thank you, gentlemen. Now, continuing on the trend of picks and bans, we saw the Karthus come out here from AHQ, and, you know, there was a discussion at the beginning of the day about Westor's champion pool, that he does favor the assassins, but has recently extended his play to those control mages.
Now, we thought going into this, he wanted to help the side lanes out, and he's taken a little bit of a hit in the mid lane matchup. You know, he didn't necessarily out CS, even in his own region. So we see the Karthus pick, you're going to focus the side lanes. They do a gank in the top lane. The reason that gank doesn't work is because Hecarim, with the smite, he's able to start Flask, do a camp, not buy potions, TP to lane and has a cloth armor. Instead of 5 potions in the ward, he's got a cloth versus a double physical of Jarvan and Gnar. Survives the gank, gets away. Now, AHQ can't really focus that lane anymore. Their summoners are down, and he's still in lane, very healthy. So every gank from then on from AHQ is telegraphed to the bottom lane. All EDG has to do is out-rotate them, be there as well, and you start clear, like just sit around bottom lane, wait for a thing, and you get triple kills left, right, and center.
Yeah, I want to pick up one more time on the Karthus pick, because we have seen kind of this Karthus pick like this before, going for Tia Rileys to protect the Kalista, and this is kind of the team comp that AHQ is going for. And what you actually expect was that Karthus is farming up a lot, but what we've seen before from Westor is that he's actually down in CS. In the one game he played 20 CS by 10 minutes and 50 by 20 minutes. And that's actually huge if you're a Karthus player. So I had my doubt going into it, and I don't think it paid off as well as it should have.
Yeah, I definitely think that the overall team comp didn't really do what it was supposed to do. You're supposed to kite back through, but there was just so many beefy people. They didn't care if they sat in the Karthus in the end. And we saw as soon as EDG were comfortable that they were able to win a team fight, every single time they have an opportunity, ward vision or not, they just set up for it, make sure they're in the right position. Coral in the top lane, by the way, he was equal in kills to the Gnar and just did so much more with it. Went outright tanky with that Cinderhulk. The challenging smart was just able to delete people off the map. As soon as EDG ever get a lead in these games, they're just going to look to take over.
Well, and there's an interesting thing here, Irene, in that in each of these 3 matches of the day so far, we've determined a greater and a lesser team. We've said here's the favorite, here's the underdog, but in all 3 of these games, the underdogs have come out swinging.
Yeah, and I really like seeing that, because the underdog are playing to their own styles. They're not being gun shy as well. You're seeing Mountain like flash EQ over a wall, level 3 to try and get a kill, to try and make something happen. 4-man gank on Faker mid. Then they get to look at these things, go back and be like, okay, that didn't work. Let's reevaluate. But they're being aggressive out the door, because if you try to be something that you're not as a team, you're not going to learn, because you're just going to look back and be like, we didn't actually play our style on the world stage, so now we don't know what to improve. So I like that they're coming out and getting the most out of this experience.
And to that end, in my opinion, this was the closest game we've seen so far, which is interesting considering that we're all coming in here probably regarding EDG as the team to beat. So, you know, props to AHQ there for sticking with them so closely through the early parts of this game.
I think that this entire tournament is going to be closer than we had imagined at the start.
I think as well that if you look right now at the meta game, the diversity is just so huge and everything is kind of close. So if you go for a team comp, it's less punishing and less snowbally, because you usually don't go for this double assassin that like instantly deletes you, or is like fail or like super success. So I think that maybe the meta right now is playing into the favor of, you know, the lesser teams.
Well, before we get into the rest of the match, we are going to send it over to Shox, who is joined by a member of the victorious Edward Gaming.